scheduled program to bring you this.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of the Babbling Bards podcast, a podcast made by Z-Nights.
For Z-Nights.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Liliana.
And last night, we had something really special happen last night.
What was it?
We drove 3 hours south of us.
Oh, we did.
We did. We went to San Pedro.
San Pedro to Little Fish Theater.
Very, very awesome theater setup.
It's a little.
It was Little Fish.
Yeah.
But it was small.
Nice.
I haven't been in a small venue like that in a long time. It was actually kind of nice. It was just this nice little intimate theater sitting. There was not a bad seat in the house.
No.
You could see every aspect of what was going on from anywhere that you sat in that theater, which was really cool.
It was.
So we went last night. We saw this play called Dinner with Friends.
Dinner with Friends.
And after said play...
And guess who was in it? Go on, guess.
Martina McBride.
No. We didn't go to like a country concert?
Thank
No.
God.
Theater. You want to know who was in it? It was Renee O'Connor.
Oh! She's the blonde one.
Right.
She's the one that played Gabrielle on Xena.
That's right.
Sacre bleu. But, we were fortunate enough to get to hang around after the play.
Right.
And we got to meet Renee O'Connor. We were actually going to see if she would record a little intro for the podcast, but she was so tired, so we didn't even ask.
No, she was exhausted.
She was, but she was nice enough that it was like, can we get a picture with you? Oh, of course!
Yeah, let's go in here.
Let's go in here. We'll get one where the light's better. And
she signed our programs.
Yeah,
and
she did.
Yeah.
She did. She's like, do you guys want to... She does like the little scribble thing in there. Yeah, okay. Do you want a sign? But she was so tired. But you guys, too, it was like 10 o'clock by the time it let out. So she'd been, and speaking from experience, when you do theater like that, and you have to use so much energy, it takes a lot out of you. It taxes you mentally.
Yeah.
Plus, she had a show the night before that, and she's been doing this production ever since the 10th.
Yeah.
So
and, today's actually the last one.
The last performance, yeah. The last performance was at 2 p.m.
Was at 2. See, I would have liked to have gone today.
Because it was the talkback.
I did the talkback today. But we weren't able to do it today. So we went yesterday, and we did. And it was fun.
We have stupid, like, grown-up stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I have to work. It's retarded. Who does that? Giving my notice. I quit. Nah.
I don't think they'd let you quit.
I don't think they'd let me quit either.
No.
They love me. They really do appreciate me where I work. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, they let you out early.
They did. They let me out early yesterday. I was like, hey, I really need to go down to San Pedro. Pretty please?
Like, okay.
I'm like, okay.
We love you. We'll let you go.
We'll let you go. I'm like, you don't understand. It's Renee O'Connor.
Right.
Oh, well, say no more. I don't know who that is, but okay. So then they got my my spiel on who Renee O'Connor was and how she started out back in Danielle Steele's Changes, and then she did this project and this project, but she's most notable for Gabrielle on Xena, Warrior Princess. So they know not to tell me they don't know anybody ever again. Because I will give them their life story. But anyhow, so she played a little bit different character than what I've ever seen her play in anything before. She was a kind of neurotic, really. Really good. The play itself was really smart. Was really well done. And it was cast really well.
Yeah, all the actors were amazing.
All the actors were freaking awesome.
They were.
I was impressed by, well, of course, Renee, but I was really impressed with Patrick Best, who played Gabe.
I like Gabe.
He was funny.
He was.
And his punchlines for every joke he gave were timed absolutely perfectly. He didn't let it rest too long, and he didn't let it not breathe. So I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
And they were all really good, I felt like, about pausing for laughs, because when you're a stage actor, they teach you to allot your audience X amount of seconds for laughter.
Yeah.
If there's a funny scene. If there's no laughter, you continue on.
Right.
But they were really good about pausing for laughs so the audience didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
So they were all seasoned really well, I felt like.
Yeah.
But Patrick Best, I was definitely impressed with. I'd never seen him on stage. And Christina Morel, this is how I am.
The one that played Karen.
The one that played Karen. I didn't realize it was Christina Morel. Like, I did, but I didn't. I wrote it off like, oh, it's a different one, because I'm a huge musical theater junkie. And if I had known that was her, I would have geeked all the way to loserdom. I really would have. Because she did Cameron McIntosh's Oklahoma. Cameron McIntosh is the one that he did my favorite arrangement of Les Mis. My favorite musical arrangement of Les Miserables. So, I would have gone ballistic. She's done a lot of off-Broadway stuff, and yeah. But I didn't see her hanging around afterwards.
I think her and Patrick, I noticed they left like pretty quick after.
Yeah, because I got to shake hands with Doug.
Doug, me too. Yeah. I liked him.
Shake hands with him, and I was like, nice job. He's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Really?
He and Renee hung out for a little bit afterwards. Yeah. But the other two, I don't know, maybe
they may have had previous engagements.
Yeah.
They may have had kids, because it was 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, we got back home about 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 in the morning, yeah.
So, yeah. That's why you guys are getting this on a Sunday, not a Saturday night.
I'm still kind of...
Liliana's still drowsy.
I could go for a nap.
So we're going home. We're driving home.
Uh-huh.
And I had worked yesterday.
Yeah.
For part of the day. And then I drove down.
Yeah.
I was tired, too, by the time the play got out. So Liliana's driving back home.
Yeah.
And I had dozed off. And next thing I know, I hear the wake-up bumps on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And Liliana had already started nodding off. I'm like, oh my god!
Like, I'm good. I was popping in my sunflower seeds that...
Because those keep you awake.
Those keep me awake, yeah.
But that's a true fan right there. You took our lives in your hands to go see Renee O'Connor. I know where I stand. We're good. No, she looks at her. She's like, man, sunflower seeds don't keep me awake like they used to.
But we were almost home.
We were almost home. So
yeah.
I woke up and I think I like shot up in my seat. I was like, I'm awake.
Me too.
We'll talk. So we talked more about the play.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, back to the play. They don't want to hear about us. They want to hear about the play.
Right.
So it opened with Beth sitting down at a table. Beth was the character that Renee played.
Right.
And Karen, played by Christina Morel, and Gabe, played by Patrick Best. They were discussing their vacation. They had just finished to Italy. They'd gone to Rome and they'd gone to Florence. Well, they're just yammering on, and Beth can't get a word in edgewise. You know, she's like, oh.
Like, okay.
And you can tell, like, her heart's not in the conversation.
Right. You can tell there's something bugging her.
There's something bothering her.
Yeah. Which
is pretty hard to get across on stage. You know.
She did pretty good at it.
She did a really good job at it.
Yeah.
And then off stage, you hear these kids start yelling, Dad! Fix the tape! We want to watch the Aristocats! But I mean, let's be honest. Hands up if you know how to work a VCR.
Yep.
I mean, I do.
Here.
Our kiddos do.
Yeah, we do.
But most kids, if it's not on a disc, they're fucked. You know, they don't know how to work any of that
stuff.
stuff.
It's a VHS or a cassette tape. They look at it like,
they don't even think they know what a cassette tape is anymore. If I ever, you know what, I bet if I broke out some of my old 8-tracks, kids wouldn't know what they were.
I mean, they would know what cassettes are because I have some. I mean, they've seen them, they know.
But if I whipped out an 8-track,
yeah.
What is that?
How does it work?
Or one of those little LP15 records, like the little small ones, not the big guys.
How does it work?
How does it work? How do you work this? Where's the button? There's no button. There's no remote. Children.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Gabe goes off stage, and it leaves Karen and Beth there, and Karen's still talking about
Italy,
and she says, "Oh, by the way, we brought you guys back something for your home," and she brings her like these placemats, like linen placemats, really nice ones, and then Beth just busts out crying. She just loses it. She's like, "He's leaving me." Tom, who's played by Doug Mattingly, like, Tom leaving me. He doesn't love me anymore. He's in love with someone else. Nancy. Liliana has a cousin named Nancy, so it's her fault. I said, you have a cousin named Nancy, so it's Nancy's fault. Nancy's fault that Tom's leaving Beth.
Wrong Nancy.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. She's just going on about how cheated on her and leaving her for this stewardess.
She's not a stewardess. She's a travel agent.
Not a stewardess.
That's the whole argument through the whole thing. She's not a stewardess. She's a travel agent.
Yeah.
She's a travel agent, and she wanted to be, oh, Christ. What was it she wanted? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Was it something in the medical field? I feel like it was something in the medical field.
I don't remember. It wasn't a lawyer like you.
No, it wasn't a lawyer.
I don't remember.
Well, I don't remember. Nutballs. Okay.
Yeah, either way.
So,
either way.
Well, she wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And, he's, so she's broken down crying, and Gabe comes down from helping the kids, and he's like, what's going on? And then you see, like, there's, like, a little bit of discussion about what's going on, and she's expanding on he's cheated, and it's been going on for a while.
A few months.
Yeah, a few months. I don't know, a few months.
Gabe comes back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
What?
So,
your friend? Did you say something like that? Your friend, Tom?
Oh, no, not yet. No, not at that point. They're still discussing, and then the kids start yelling again, and this time Karen goes.
All right.
And then we've got, like, a tense moment between Beth and Gabe.
Like a tense, awkward silence.
And Gabe's like, what happened? And she's like, well, your friend.
Yeah.
It's like, your friend did this, and your friend did that. And Gabe's like, whoa, where's all this coming from? And then we find out that Gabe told Tom before they got married that he shouldn't marry Beth. And so you've got that that shock, and then you got this, so now is Gabe the good guy, or is he the bad guy, or what's going on with this? Is he the reason it's, been rocky from pretty much the start?
Uh-huh.
And now these couples too, though, they've been like lifelong friends. Gabe and Tom met in college.
Best friends. Yeah, college.
Since college, yeah. And so you got this whole thing where you're feeling really bad for Beth, and then she gets upset. She's like, it's getting late. We need to go home. This and that. So she goes home.
Yeah.
And you're coming, and it's the funniest damn thing. They had a little fold-out love seat.
Yeah.
And we were sitting right in front of the fold-out love seat.
Right.
So I got, like, Renee O'Connor in my face at some point. But, I
mean, yeah, she's, like, literally right there in front of us.
Yeah, she was right there. So, you got
the love seat folds out into a bed.
Mm-hmm. And she's coming there, and she's got her book, and she's getting settled in to read.
Getting ready to lay down, yeah.
And then in comes Tom.
The husband.
Who's, not supposed to be staying there. Yeah, he's supposed to be in D.C. and with Nancy.
Right.
And he freaks her out. What the hell? And
yeah.
This and that. And so it freaked Beth out. They have some words. They get into an argument. They actually start out in a pretty civil conversation. Yeah. Tom's like, I'm not here to argue. I don't want to argue.
Yeah.
I just need a place to sleep. I'm going to sleep in the den.
Right.
And,
so why didn't you stay in a hotel? Because of the storm, all the hotels were booked.
Yeah. Because the flight got canceled because of weather.
Yeah.
And, it was, so they're talking, and then he brings up the kids, and he's like, how are the kids? And she's like, they're good, they're this and that. And then he talks about Karen and Gabe, and how are they? And, she's like, they're fine. And he starts in on her like, well, what did you guys talk about? She's like, we talked about their vacation to Italy. We talked about, the kids. We talked
What
about
else?
dinner. And
What
he's like,
else?
what else?
You
What
know,
else?
you
And
were
she's
there
like,
for like 5-6 hours. What else did you talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he's starting to get pissed.
get irate, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't remember every fucking thing. And he's like, you told them.
Told them we were supposed to tell them together.
Mhm.
Now you have the upper hand.
Yeah, he's
or
like,
something.
and he asks her point blank, he's like, did you cry? And she's like, yes, I cried. My marriage is falling apart. Of course I cried.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Now they're going to take your side over my side. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose them as friends because of you. And
Right.
she jumps out of bed. She's like, prick. And he's like, bitch.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're hurling some pretty hurtful words.
Nasty words
And
at
then-
each other. Yeah.
And then Beth is an artist. She does
Yeah.
drawing and painting, and he starts saying, "Oh, your stuff's crap," and this and that, and she slaps him. She slaps him across the face, and he pops her back.
He did. Oh.
He pops her back, and then they start like scuffling. So
Yeah.
she's like trying to smack him, and he's like throwing her
Yeah.
on the fold out bed.
I was getting cranky at the way.
And the way he was handling her.
I was like,
Well, you could see that Doug was trying really hard not.
He was being gentle.
He was being gentle
He's
with
trying
her.
not to hurt her.
Yeah,
But I was like, I didn't like seeing that.
but I think that's a sensitive subject though for any female. You know, to see a man put his hands on another woman.
Yeah.
You know, because that's looked down on so much in society.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, that was a kind of a tough scene to watch.
Yeah, and it's like literally, they were like literally like a foot or something right in front of us.
Yeah, they were probably
a couple of feet.
1.5 feet, 2 feet or so
Right
in front of us, and
like, oh my god.
and I mean, we were right there because there was no stage.
No.
There's no stage. It's just open room, pretty much. And so you see, you guys are tweeting at us. So you see these, you see them up close, and I mean, there's no railing, there's no buffer, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if one of them steps wrong or they're slung incorrectly, they're gonna land in your lap.
Right. Yeah.
Which was what I was afraid of because she was so small.
Yeah.
I mean, Renee O'Connor's tiny.
She was.
She's so little,
She's so little.
and he was so tall.
Yeah.
He was tall. So you're like, oh, crap. So you can see he's being all gentle with her, which I was glad. But then he like grabs her, like puts a hand on her chin and on the back of her head, like the break the neck pose.
Yeah, he's all like, I could just kill you right now.
I could kill you right now. And then they smooch.
Yep.
They frolic.
We
cut back to Karen and Gabe because they're getting down and dirty. Which, I mean, you don't see anything, guys. You should already know that. But
lights go dim.
Lights go dim.
They changed the
furniture
around.
The set around, and
then back to
Karen. Gabe and Karen. And I mean, it must have been a pretty quick interlude because he shows right up at Karen and Gabe's house.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say how much time's elapsed
or
anything like that.
Mean, they're going on talking about, the two of them, like what happened.
Right. And Karen is angry at Tom.
At this point, she's like, he's not my friend, he's your friend. So, and he's all like, well, gotta hear like both sides, So, and then he like hears the car, he can hear the car.
Oh shit,
like,
it's Tom.
Oh shit, he's here.
So she's like, well, I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And then when Tom comes in, he's like, hey, Karen, do I get a hug?
Yeah, she just kind of reluctantly, okay, gives him a hug.
And he's like, it's okay, I'm the same Tom I always was.
Right.
He's like, So she grudgingly gives him a hug, and then they exchange words.
She was wanting to just go to the bedroom.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, she wanted to avoid the whole deal.
Right.
But Gabe wouldn't let her, and finally, all this discussion's going on, and she starts bickering back at Tom. Tom's bickering at her, talking about how their entire marriage, Beth's emasculated him and made him lose his self-esteem, and this and that.
Miserable he was.
How miserable he was, and she's like, well, it didn't look that way from our side because we've spent every vacation together.
Yeah.
Every this,
so
every
now
that.
they're feeling like
He's broke up with them.
It was all a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So Gabe was like upset. Like
Right.
all these vacations we took together, so it was all a lie.
Yeah. Pretty much. And Tom's like, no, it wasn't. Tom's pretty much there trying to save face.
Right.
He's not wanting to lose. Essentially, what it boiled down to is he was not wanting to lose his friends to his soon-to-be ex.
Right.
Because, Gabe and Karen essentially were thinking, oh, temporary separation, and they're like, no, divorce.
He's like, no, what about the kids and this and that? But he's like, no.
So Karen and Tom have had words, and Gabe tells Karen, because you can see it's getting tenser and tenser, and Gabe goes, well, maybe you should go to bed.
Yeah.
And then you just get this look from Karen, and she's like, okay.
Okay.
So she leaves the set, and they have guy talk, and they're like, Gabe asks him, he's like, well, is it the sex? Is it this? And Tom's like, well, she never wanted to touch me, pretty much. And, it's like, it wasn't just the sex, she never wanted to touch me. And, he's all, I did this experiment. And this is where I was like, oh, you freaking ass. Because he's like, I gave her a week. I decided not to touch her for a week to see how long it took her to touch me.
Yeah.
And within this week, she didn't. So he decides he's leaving. For Nancy.
The stewardess, but not
the stewardess. The travel agent.
Right.
And they're talking about, he's like, Nancy, from the first time I talked to her, she made me feel so good about myself and this and that. And then you find out that the first time that they talked was on the phone.
Uh-huh.
He was booking a trip, and then I guess Nancy said, oh, we talked like 8 times now. I've got to meet you.
Right.
So they meet, and then, they just happen to fall on each other's lips, and it was an accident, and this and that. But yeah. So then you see Gabe start to kind of lose respect for Tom, and then Tom tells Gabe, because Gabe started giving him, his advice. He's like, well, marriage is about sticking it out. You work it out. You do this, you do that. You need to give it some time. You need to,
But
Tom's like, I don't want your opinion.
He just wants him to hear his side, and he doesn't want no opinion, no advice, no nothing.
Yeah. He's like, my friend, I just want you to listen. And Gabe's like, okay, you don't want me to say anything? Okay, talk.
At this point, Tom's already frustrated.
Yeah. So he gets up and leaves. And then that's the end of the first act.
Yeah.
And Karen, it's got, it pretty much ends off on the first act with her calling for Gabe to come to bed and tell her what happened with Tom. And you notice this really weird dynamic anytime that Beth or Tom, either one, have brought up in front of them that their marriage is breaking apart. Because Gabe gets really quiet and starts getting really unopinionated on it. So the lights fade out, and Gabe's sitting there alone in a chair, telling Karen that he'll be up in a second.
Right.
And then we had the intermission. And we chilled out during the intermission. And then it opened back up. And the way that it opened back up was really clever.
It was flashback, pretty much.
Yeah, everything changed. They had one of the stage walls that they brought out.
Yeah.
To do like a full arch across, because this setting was supposed to be the vineyard that Beth and Tom met at.
Right.
And it's, I guess, the vineyard that from what I gathered, Gabe and Karen owned, maybe.
Sounded like it.
But you see them, and you see, like, college Tom come in, and
his funky shorts.
And his backwards hat.
T-shirt,
and you can see, like, he's really confident and really arrogant.
Yeah.
And he's a pickup artist, and Gabe was talking about how, he'd spent all this time mooning after these chicks in college, and Tom would hit on them.
Yeah.
But, Karen would never go for Tom.
Right.
She was always after Gabe, which you can blame her. He was a cute fella. Gabe was.
Yeah.
He was.
They both were.
They were.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Doug Mattingly was very handsome. Yeah. But like Patrick, he was just cute. He was like teddy bear cuddly cute.
Yeah.
But they're talking, and there's this setup. Karen and Gabe have decided to set Beth up with Tom.
Right. But it's not a setup.
It's not a date.
No.
And they're like, oh, you already met her before. She was at the wedding. She was the one dancing in the middle of the floor by herself.
Because she was drunk.
He was like, oh,
okay, I
remember her.
Yeah.
I observed her. So in walks Renee.
And walks Beth. Was out
in her little funky wrap, and she'd gone out for a walk so that she could get some art done.
Yeah.
And we don't ever find out, like, if she's just sketching or if she's done painting. But Karen thinks that she's a really good artist.
Does.
Yes.
What was it that Gabe said to Tom about her art? What was it again?
He said, her art's kind of expressionistic, neuropsychotic. So,
and Karen just smacks him like.
So Tom, when he's like, oh, that's like I'm an artist. I'm like, what kind of art do you do? Expressionistic, neo-psychotic? And she said, excuse me? What?
And then Gabe just kind of turns his back like oh shit. Oh shit.
And he's like, what kind of art do you do? And she's like, oh, just mess around. He's like, well,
I don't put labels on it.
Yeah, I don't like labels. Which is such an artsy thing to say. I don't like labels. I don't like labels.
Me neither.
I don't. Labels belong on food products.
Right.
So you don't eat anything you're allergic to. Like me. 5,000 allergies. So, I thought it was really clever the way it backed it up like that. So we got to see both dynamics. Because then that really gave you a read into Tom's character. Because he's not, when we see him interacting with Beth, he's not arrogant at all. You know, he's not cocky. He's, not overly confident. He's, so it's a really, I thought that was really smart to do it that way. And then you see how much Beth has grown, And, because she's all mellow and, like, laid back. And you get the sense from the beginning she's really high maintenance. So, but she didn't seem that high maintenance back in the flashback. Then when they go to current day
is like a few months, like 5 months after this whole breakup thing. After the first act. Like 5-6 months later. 5 months.
And you got Beth and Karen. And Karen's asking Beth, she's like, oh, you don't mind eating outside, do you? And it's like, no, not at all. You can see she's a lot more laid back and she's carefree. And she seems a lot happier.
Yeah.
And Karen's like, oh, you look great. And Beth continues to tell her, oh, I started seeing someone.
Right.
His name's David. I met him through Tom.
Karen's pretty much like, you need some time alone first. You just, broke up with your husband. You need some time. She's like, no, I don't. Pretty much.
It's like America. We need to be single for a little while.
Right?
Yeah. But, she's like, we just broke up. How are the kids taking it? And she's like, oh, well, Sammy adores him. Sammy, who's her son. Like, he adores him, and we found out right when the scene opens that, their daughter, she kept calling it Tom and leaving him message after message after message. Like, Daddy, where are you? I want to talk to you. And he finally calls at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So, obviously, kid's asleep. So, you kind of almost get a sense that he's pretty much abandoned the kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that
in
the play, but you get that
that
feeling. And then, so, Karen's very down on the idea of Beth dating David.
Yeah.
And then
Beth gets a little
bitchy.
Gets a bit defensive there.
Yeah. She was, the end scene with Beth for me, she was really hard to like.
Yeah.
In the end scene. Like, I love Renee O'Connor, but, like, I kind of wanted to like, yell at her. Like, I didn't want to do her bodily harm, but I wanted to, like, what are you saying, Karen? This is your best buddy!
Yeah, it's just things that she was saying to Karen. Yeah, because she's kind of harsh.
Yeah, because she's all telling her, she's like, oh, I think you like it when I'm a mess. Yeah. I don't think you want me to be happy. Right. And I mean, these are two people that are supposed to be best friends.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say that to my best friend, But, Karen, you can see she's been supportive, but you also find that it's been almost 5 months since they'd seen Beth at all.
Yeah.
And after the whole breakup, she was going to their house, like, every day. So,
yeah.
kind of
she's
creepy.
happy with this David guy, and they're talking about marriage
Mhm.
and everything,
And then you find out that they met like 10 years ago
right through
Tom.
right?
And that's all you find out.
Yeah.
At that point, and Karen's like, oh, 10 years ago? She's like, yeah, he was friends with Tom. We double dated, went out with him and his wife for dinner, and then we cut to Gabe, who's sitting alone at a bar after Beth's pretty much chewed Karen out. Yeah. Told her that she thought she liked it when she was a mess and when she was unhappy, and Karen's like, that's not true. Right. And Beth says, every Karen needs a Beth. They all need somebody to micromanage. Yeah. Be in control.
She was harsh.
Yeah. She actually verged on hateful with her, which I think is why I had a difficult time liking her character. Yeah. Renee did it very well.
She did?
She played it really well.
Yeah.
But there's also nothing that I like better than an actor or an actress that can make you love them or hate them.
Right.
That's really hard to do, especially when you're so in tune with, when you're almost typecast, I guess, as one particular characteristic. Characterization. And it's like Renee when she was Hope on Xena.
Yeah.
I freaking hated Hope. I think
we
everybody did.
Yeah.
But she was so good at being bad. She was so good at being mean, and I love that. Like in an actor, I like them to make me love them or hate them.
Right.
You know? So that spoke volumes to me in terms of her acting. But that's what makes a good actor or actress. Yeah. You can't be one note all the time. No. You know? Okay. And then we see Gabe sitting alone in a bar.
Then
in walks
Tom.
Who's late.
Yeah. Business suit. Looking all nice.
Yeah. God, I wish I could remember what the travel agent chick wanted to do.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
But anyway, so they start talking again. This is like 5 months later. Pretty much, hey, what's going on and how's it going? Right.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they Tom's going on and on about how great Nancy is and how this and how that, and that's when Gabe starts going off at Tom about, well, what about Beth? I remember all those vacations. I remember how happy the two of you looked. I remember your wedding day. I remember that.
It's like 12 years. You're just throwing it out.
And then Tom's like, be honest, I was just playing it up for everybody else's sake. Right. I've never been happy with her. I've always been miserable. Yeah. You're miserable with somebody. Where are you going to marry him, fool? You know? But then he asks Gabe, and this is where the table turns.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you think you're like, okay, I can excuse Beth being a little bitchy.
Uh-huh.
I understand that. She's going on the defensive about her new man. Well, then you find out that she's come down on Tom for cheating on her and breaking their marriage up.
Right.
But then Tom drops the bomb. Oh, have you met David yet?
I'm sure she's mentioned him before.
And no, and he said, oh, I thought for sure that you guys would have known when she told you about their thing together 10 years ago. So then you find out that Beth's cheated first.
Yeah.
And then you don't know who to be pissed off at.
Gabe was just there with like shocked look on his face, like.
And he just doesn't say a word.
He doesn't say nothing. Yeah.
But I found that funny too, because going back to the scene where they're at the vineyard and it's backwards, you see that Tom has a thing for Karen, who's Gabe's wife.
Yeah.
Like he puts his hand on her shoulder and he's like rubbing, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I mean, because it borders on creeper.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, nothing's ever disclosed that anything ever happened, and I honestly don't think they would have had the close friendship if it had have.
Right.
But you see that, so you're like, well, neither of these people have been entirely faithful to the other one from the beginning anyway. But I don't know. It was really well done.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I did.
I give it 5 chakrams.
Me too. I give 5.
Can we grade that on chakrams?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Why not?
We grade everything else on chakrams.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I did 2 really good performances by all the cast members.
Yeah.
The play by Donald Margulies.
He was. I liked him.
No,
he was nice.
no, he did.
Oh, okay.
You're
I was
talking
thinking about the other Don.
Don Schlossman.
Yeah, he was nice. I liked
Hang
him.
on, Schlossman.
Schlossman. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Yeah, that's who I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, it's the other Don. But I liked him. He was nice. The people from the theater, they were really nice.
Well, he was the oh shit. The hell do you call him?
I don't know.
He was the
So what do you call it?
it's not the floor manager.
Well.
Anyway, he was the overseer.
Yeah.
He made sure everything was going smoothly and according to plan, and he was really nice. We went up to him beforehand, and I went up to him beforehand. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to make sure there's no pictures whatsoever, right? Because we were kind of hoping that if it wasn't flash photography, we could snap pictures. But they didn't allow it in the theater.
Which, I mean, is understandable.
And I actually was kind of pleased that they didn't. Yeah. Because, when you grow up with theater etiquette, you're taught that that's not appropriate anyway. And so as much as we would have liked to have
shared some pictures
from the performance, we couldn't.
Yeah.
And out of respect for Little Fish Theater, we're perfectly okay with that.
Oh yeah.
We got some few. We got a few after the show with Renee, which we shared.
Yeah. I'm a bit blurry.
Yeah, Liliana kept. She's the only one out of focus. Dawn Schlossman.
Yeah.
Was nice enough to volunteer to take pictures.
Yeah, because I was getting ready to snap one with you and Renee. Then we were going to switch, and
he's
like, well, why don't I take it?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So
why don't you?
We were like, okay, that's fine. But he's like, yeah, let me take it. And Liliana, she's all excited.
I didn't realize I was moving.
Yeah. You guys would just have to, understand Liliana when she gets excited. She does this little thing where she shuffles from foot to foot.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, and it's adorable. So
I don't.
Yes, you do. So she was moving around a little bit because she's excited and she's nervous all at the same time. Nah. Really? Okay. We'll go with that. Okay. But so she's the only one out of focus in one of
the. It's okay.
We had a couple more pictures, but they were really blurry. So I think on Twitter we only shared the one.
It's the first ones I took. I'm like, oh, they came out a little blurry. Remember Renee was all like, that's okay, we'll take another one.
Yeah, and she's all pushing us. Come on, we'll get closer.
Yeah, she's so tiny.
She pushed us up so we could get closer to the phone and.
Very sweet, very nice.
Yeah. No complaints. It was nice, and I was really grateful that because a lot of actors, when it's that late, and they've been nose to the grind, so they just want to go home and
sleep
and see their families and sleep.
Yeah,
and which was why I didn't want to even ask about the podcast thing.
Yeah,
which I'm sure if we had asked her, she probably would have.
Well, if she wasn't so exhausted like she was,
it would have been.
I'm sure she would have been okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Who can speak for Renee O'Connor but Renee O'Connor?
But yeah, we didn't want to bother her with that. We're just you go home and get some rest.
Yeah. You go home and get some rest. She's like, thank you guys. But she was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Had a fun time.
We did.
She made a little small talk with us.
Yeah.
When she was tired, she's like, wait, how do you spell your name? Yeah. Oh, that's right. But, with Liliana, there's, 27 ways to spell Liliana.
Everybody always spells it wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. And, me, there's only one way to spell mine.
Well, there's only one way to spell mine, too. But
no, that's inaccurate.
But everybody always spells it wrong.
Yeah, but there's multiple spellings for the name Liliana.
No.
Yes, there is.
There's just the one I have.
No, there's not. Liliana, which is how you spell yours.
Yes, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Lilliana, which is how some people spell it.
That's wrong.
Lilanna.
That's wrong.
That's how some people spell it. Lillianna.
No, that's wrong too.
Yeah. But so I keep throwing my pen at the computer. I'm sorry. But overall, we had a blast.
Yep, we did.
She was.
I'm ready to go back.
Are you?
Yeah.
She was in the Scottish. She thanked Liliana for coming on her program. Her
You
her
gotta
signature
thank you. You
says.
gotta thank you.
I did. I gotta thank
You just gotta thank you. I gotta thank you for coming to the show.
you. Yeah, but I got an exclamation.
Okay.
Yeah, you just got a period. Who's happening now? I'm just kidding. But no. So anyway,
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to us talk again and babble at you again.
But yeah, if any of you are like in the area of the Little Fish Theater, you guys should like check out the shows over there. I mean, it's small, and I like that it was like small like that.
It was small and intimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And the show was actually supposed to be. They were supposed to do this a few months ago, right?
They were supposed to do it in March, and they had some electrical problems.
Yeah, from the rains, I guess, because it rained so much, they had problems. They had to like redo the electrical and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocking. I'm done.
So I mean, they're still like trying to recover from that, like financially wise.
Well, their electrical fund was filled though.
Yeah.
They met that, but they are still collecting donations for like the actors fund,
so they can be able to pay the actors.
Yeah.
And
the actors work like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And they make $400 for 10 weeks of work.
Yeah.
So what the actors fund does is it guarantees them a stipend.
Right.
Of payment. And you can there's actually several levels that you can donate to.
Yeah.
There is, you can invest as little or as much as you want to. You can do it one time, or you can do a revolving monthly donation. And plus they use the word polywog polywog is one of their donor pond.
Little thing. Polywog, the green swan, hummingbird, peacock.
It's like Binya Binya from Gullah Gullah Island. He was a polywog. Binya Binya.
I have no idea what that is.
You don't know who Binya Binya was?
No.
Binya Binya. Polywog. Anyway, but you can donate to the actor fund or the just the theater in general, the production fund, I think.
Right.
And so, if you guys want to do that,
Yeah,
be a part of something.
they got the website littlefishtheater.org, where you can go if any of you are interested in helping them out. Yeah.
They would be greatly appreciative.
Yeah.
We made a little donation.
Yeah, we did.
Last night.
Renee actually came after and thanked us for that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys for the donation.
Thank you guys for the donation.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank
problem.
you.
Yeah.
You did an awesome job. And she's like, oh, you liked it? I think she was surprised that we liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Really cool people.
Yeah.
They're like the whole staff. I don't have any complaints about any of the staff people at Little Fish Theater.
No.
And that was the first time either of us had been there.
Right. That was my first theater.
That was Liliana's first theater play.
I was kind of excited.
She was.
I'm ready, like I said, ready to go back.
I told her, I said, next time we'll make it a musical.
Right.
They can get Renee O'Connor to sing.
Well, I told you, like,
or dance.
I told you, like, when you got home from work, I'm like, we should go again tonight and, like, surprise them again. Say, hey, Renee, we came back. But the show
and
was that too, so.
And then be arrested for stalking?
No.
Okay.
We weren't stalking. We just went to go see the show again.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah. So, we had fun. You guys, if you're in the area, go check out Little Fish Theater.
Yeah.
They've got all kinds of stuff going on. They've got
got stuff coming up.
They do. We had a thing. We had a program.
Yeah.
You had a program? Yeah. The next thing they have going on is The Good Doctor, which is a Neil Simon play, and Anton Chekhov. You realize that? Huh. But anyway, it's called The Good Doctor. It runs June 16th through July 15th.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and they're on Little Fish Theater. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So look them up. Visit their website, and yeah, check out everything they have upcoming. We
had fun.
Yeah, I did.
Good people, good acting, good material.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of glad that it wasn't just regular, like, I love Shakespeare, and they do a lot of Shakespeare plays, I noticed. Renee O'Connor was Lady Macbeth in the Scottish play when they did it.
Yeah, I read that in the program. I saw that.
That's the Shakespeare by the Sea deal, so, and I love Shakespeare, but I was really glad that they did something that was out of the box, and not a cookie cutter production. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
You guys.
There you have it, our
Our
special edition.
Our special edition. How special was it?
I thought it was special.
It was special. But, anyway, we had fun. Renee's awesome.
She is.
She's sweet.
She
was
really
tired, but she still managed to be a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Very gracious and courteous.
Yeah.
So yeah, she lived up to expectations. Succeeded.
She did.
Superseded.
It was awesome.
It was. And then Don Schlossman.
I liked him.
Good guy. Good guy. Nice, funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. And even Renee said that he was the funniest actor in the bunch. She's like, this guy's the funniest actor you'll ever meet. Because she was like pointing to him and talking about him when he offered to take a picture for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, can't be bad if Renee O'Connor's like, hey, he's a good guy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But anyway.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed. We enjoyed talking to you guys about it.
Yep.
And oh my God, it's lasted as long as the Xena podcast.
Right?
Go us. We're getting better at this.
Hey,
maybe. Or we're just talking more.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Huh. Anyhow. Alrighty, you guys. Good night. Happy chakrams.